So welcome everybody. This is the second Cultuur Café talk. And today we're going to talk about entrepreneurship in times of crisis. And Carlos is going to be the host for today.
Yeah, as Laura mentioned it, today we will talk about entrepreneurship in times of crisis. So thank you for accepting this invitation. I hope that we are going to have a good hour today.
Yes, you know.
Yes, everybody is going to be on mute while we are making the presentation, but don't worry, we're going to tell you how this works and you'll get a chance to participate as well. We're going to introduce the speakers now. So we have 4 speakers today. We want to thank them for joining. We love having you here. We're going to have Aki Lich. I'm not sure if he's yet in the meeting, but he will be here at any point. And we also have Victor. Victor, can you tell us a bit about you, please?
Thank you. First of all, give me thanks for the invitation. My name is Victor Hugo Juarez. I am the CEO and founder of a company that is related to biofuels. And also I'm an advisor and a consultant in the energy sector for the government and for many enterprises related with the biofuels and related with the petroleum and oil and gas sector.
Perfect. Thank you, Victor.
Now we have Matthew. Hi, Matthew. How are you? How's your life?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. Well, yeah, I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and my wife and I have our own real estate business. And we, I don't know if everyone has heard of Sotheby's. It's international, is our brokerage. We're with Cooper Sotheby's International Realty. And it's a fantastic brokerage. We have some of the best marketing, hands down. And we've been in the business for around 8 years and really have a passion for what we do.
Okay. And then we have Alma Andrea, that we know each other from many, many years ago, almost 15 years ago, 14 years ago, I don't know. But I have, it's for me a pleasure to have Andrea here. And tell us about you, a little bit about you, Andrea.
Sure. Thanks for having me here, first of all. And well, I am a designer. I am co-founder of several, like design brands. And now currently I also have a platform, like we provide tools to women that are entrepreneurs. And we specialize like in brand styling. We have a studio there and we make a lot of strategies from the aesthetic point of view of a brand. And how can you escalate it through it? And also, I like a lot of like digitalization topics, and we also give consultancy about that matter. So I'm from Mexico City, and it's a pleasure to be here. Carlos, we know each other from a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Great. I was answering some doubts in the as you can see, there's a lot going on, so people are asking about instructions on how to access and stuff. So if we go a little slow, please be patient. We're going to tell you now the program. This is pretty important because we want to tell you that this is going to be different. This is not going to be a typical talk where you're just going to be listening to what the speakers are saying. What we want is for you to participate, but not during this part of the session. You're going to be able to participate a bit like the assignment to meetings. There's some people asking about how to get their audio on. if you have a problem, log out and get in again to connect your volume. So, Carlos, tell us what's the problem for today?
Yeah, I'm going to explain the program for this day. It's important to let you know that your participation, as Laura told you, is essential. In the first part, we're going to ask 2 or 3 questions to the speakers. In the second part, we're going to assign you, each of you, in a mini room where you can interact together. Please make questions in order to have an interesting talk. What about the rules, Laura?
Yes, we have some rules. Give me a second. Here are the rules. This is going to be interactive. This should not be a presentation. It should be a conversation. We're asking you to have no judgments. There are no rights or wrongs. There are only perspectives. And remember that we're all here to learn more about different topics and to hear different opinions. So this is just a reminder. We're going to start right now. We're going to ask 3 questions to the speakers. And as Carlos explained, afterwards we're going to switch to mini rooms, a mini room format where you are going to be the ones who ask the questions. But for this part, we're going to be the ones who ask the questions for entrepreneurs. And you're going to have to pick one. We're going to ask all of you, which speaker would you like to join in a mini room? And there is where the conversation is going to happen. So right now I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll put this image back when you have to pick a mini room, and we're going to start the conversation with our speakers. Okay, so everybody please put your mic off, except for Victor, Matthew, and Almandrea. This is for the video. It's going to be prettier if you have it off.
All right.
Good. So let's start with the questions. The first question is, what challenges you have right now with the coronavirus crisis regarding your business? We're going to be telling your name, and then you can tell us a bit about it. And also if you have some questions, for example, if Alma has a question for Matthew or Matthew has a question for Victor, you can ask and you can speak between you.
Right.
So let's talk about the challenges. Almandrea, can you please tell us about your challenges?
Sure. Well, one of the first brands that I co-founded with my sister is called Ethnology, and it's a fashion brand. And what we wanted is because here in Mexico we didn't have like streetwear fashion. All of them, I mean, like the sphere of the design was just emerging, and all designers were like making things like more, not like pret-a-porter, like more haute couture. And that didn't work for us because we were young and we wanted to have streetwear. So we started this brand with this in mind. Like we wanted to have, like stuff that we could use every day. And so on and so forth. We made this brand, and now it's called Technology, and it's about having garments, state of mind garments. And with that, like 5 years ago, for example, we just opened our online store, and we were like pioneers on online stores here in fashion in Mexico City and in all the sphere of Mexican design. So now with the coronavirus, I think that the challenge that we face is how can we just expand this online store, because now all the buying and all this industry, it's about being digital, and not only my industry, like I think all of them. So our challenge was like diminished in comparison with other brands because they didn't have like this online platform to sell, and we had it. But now our main goal is how to expand that message in order to reach to more audience, so they can still like, buy more and have a lot of customers, not only in Mexico City but also in the world. So probably it's like the challenge that we face now is like how to escalate it. But also, like in my consultant firm, we want more people to know that the digitalization is the answer to all of our questions of scalability. And with coronavirus, I mean, this process, it's been like here for 20 years probably, but with coronavirus, it's going to be more like intense and more quick. So it's very important that all of us understand that digitalizing our businesses is the answer to be there all the time, no matter what happens, like in the physical world. It was like no water, like lack of resources. So how are we going to do our our business models in order to survive? And I think digitalization is a clue.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So what about your industries? For example, you are like in clean energy, right, Matthew?
No, for real
Victor.
estate. The Victor's in.
I mean,
Yeah.
you are real estate. Yeah.
Victor,
So,
how are the challenges in the energy and clean energy industry?
Well, actually, we have many challenges in this sector, because our biorefinery is the first one in Mexico City that is going to produce anhydrous ethanol. We won a special bid from the public sector, from Pemex, that is our main petroleum parastatal company. But right now, the problem that we are trying to solving, and we are getting challenged. The first one is the biofuels are related in the energy sector, so it is very related and correlated with the petroleum. So when the petroleum gets down, obviously our product goes down also, because it's an oxygenant for the gasolines. It is a clean one, but the problem is that if they are not selling gasolines, if they are not selling diesel, jet fuels, our demand is going down. So we have to get in session rooms and reinvent ourselves to know what we have to do. Because the second one is that the employees must be in very good health conditions. And it's very hard to get all the employees in the same production line and take care of 1.5 meters from each other, because in the production area you can not do that. It is very difficult to do that. So we need to do a shortcut in our employees, no get laid off from them, just only to take some kind of redistribution from our production lines. And also we have a problem, a challenge with the transportation. Transportation has many problems, because all when the petroleum prices in Mexico get low, we have the problem that all the transportations were very busy and with many contracts to transport many other products better than petroleum and ethanol. So we have to reinvent ourselves to do something different, use different ways to getting our product at the final consumer. And obviously, the problem is we have to get down our production, because the warehouses were very, very, very a lot of full. And if you want to get some warehouses to put your product for the time to get the demand goes up, and you can go with this demand distribution your ethanol, the problem is that there's no warehouses. So warehouse, we need to do many challenge, but we found very good opportunities. I'm going to talk maybe later, but the challenge also represents for us a good opportunity, not only for the national sector, but even in the international sector. And also the problem is digitalization, as Alma told us. The problem is that with digitalization, we need to move very quickly with many customers around the world. And we began to get in contact with many persons in China, in Brazil, in different parts that they speak in Japanese, in Chinese, in Japanese, in Portuguese. And the problem, yes, the problem in digitalization is you don't have any translator that can give an idea whether you are related with the business meeting. So that is also a challenge. But by the way, we found many good ways to resolve this, and also to get support for the person and the medical sector that is involved in this fight against the coronavirus.
Or had you already started with this digitalization before the quarantena, a long time before the quarantena, or did you see that it got faster and you had to do it quicker right now?
No. We also have since the quarantine comes through, we began about 2 or 3 years ago to begin with the digitalization. Also, all the information, because our our project, that is very biggest, it is almost a $120 million project. So we have to get finance around the world with many brokers and with many banks. So we need to get some video conference right now. We are doing some data information, so getting big data and just try to get interpretation about the demand and how long is going to get this demand in America, how it's going to be in Europe, how it's going to be in Asia. So digitalization for us is it's a main part, but right now with the video conference is the mainly core of the business to get alive.
Perfect, thank you.
Anytime.
So we already talked with Alma, Andrea, and Victor, right?
Yeah.
Now, Matthew, please tell us, which challenges have you faced?
Yes, well, okay, so there's been many challenges. Let's see, I want to switch back actually so I can see everybody. It's weird just staring at yourself, you know. Yeah, there's been many challenges, in fact, with real estate business. I would say, first of all, on a personal level, so my wife and I work together as a team, right? The first challenge has been keeping a positive mindset, right, with everything that's going on. Keeping a positive mindset with all the news that we're bombarded with constantly, right? And not just for us, but also for our clients, because we have so many clients throughout this whole process, you know, constantly calling us, texting us, emailing, you know, what's going on, you know, what do you see in the market? So we've also had to manage their expectations as well and do our best to keep them in a positive mindset as well. So that's been the first, I'd say, challenge, and that's a big challenge to really, despite everything going on, despite this crisis, to really keep yourself in a position where you're not focusing on all the stuff that's going on that's not in your control, and shift to everything that's within your control. As far as actual real estate, normally we're out networking with people. We're showing houses to clients that are looking to buy houses. We're meeting with clients that want to sell their houses, you know, so we go through and give them ideas on what we see on their house as well, and get a lot of feedback from them. So we're very used to that in-person contact, right? So this has been a huge shift, whereas now we're having to do Zoom calls with our clients and, you know, FaceTime calls, which we've made it work. It's actually worked out very well, and fortunately, for the most part, our clients have been very understanding. So I would say that's been a big challenge as far as not being able to be there and meet with them in person. Now that things have kind of gotten a little bit better here in San Antonio and Texas, as with the virus, and things are starting to open back up, I've been, you know, going to show houses, but with respect to our clients, I wear a face mask, right? And they do the same. And now I allow them to go into the house themselves and look around, whereas normally I walk around with the clients and show them, you know, everything the house has to offer. So it's a big change. However, we've made it work, and I think that's the most important thing. It's like, look, with any, you know, you're building a business, despite this crisis, when you're building a business and you have a business, you're always going to have obstacles, and you can really choose to. I'm a big fan of Stoic philosophy. I don't know if you know too much about this, but basically is there's so much going on that's outside of your control, right? But if you can just shift to what's in your control, you can really overcome anything. And so I think that's key to being successful in any business.
Okay, thank you, Matthew. So, what specific measures have you taken to solve them, to solve those challenges, Almandrea?
Well, as I tell you, like the point that Victor has is like really important, because sometimes, like when we digitalize something, we're just like in my industry, like the retail industry at least, we are just like, yes, I'm gonna have like an online store and everything's gonna work out fine, but we don't think about the infrastructure we really need, like to digitalize. For example, when you are in retail industry, you have to know a lot about logistics, how it's gonna be your items, you know, like transport, the transport I mean, and also, for example, all the thing about the customer service, like you need someone specialized on giving all the like going through all the process of purchase, and sometimes we don't even have like the personal nor the knowledge to make all this like online business. So I think that one of the most challenges we faced, like when we started our online brand, online store, was that to have all the infrastructure that we really need in order to have a digital you know, like business. And now, when I speak to all the people that I consult, that's the main problem. For example, they want to have like their online store right away, but probably they don't have like the traffic from where they are going to you know, like direct all the purchases. So it's like you first need to have like a community, you know, like brand awareness, and you have to work a lot of things before all the digitalization can be done. Now we're in a rush because actually we want to digitalize everything because of this new era and this new normality, but we really have to focus on first building this infrastructure. And it's not hard, but you really need a know-how. If you don't know it, like you can go through a lot of online courses, and you can go like, you know, with mentoring and all these things, consultant, because you really are going to need it in some part of the process, like if you don't have this knowledge of digitalization. So I think that's very important. And also according to each industry, like the Victor said, I have to know a lot about translation, for example, and that's something that we don't even think about it. But in terms like when you have a very specialized sector, it's really important and crucial to have that. For example, Matthew, I know that now you can work like from FaceTime, but sometimes the people want to see their houses and want to be in that place. So how are we gonna make more tools, digital tools, in order to make our business expand? I'm very convinced that the only thing that make a business scalable and bigger is to digitalize it, but we need the tools. For example, now we have virtual reality, for example, and that we can incorporate in some businesses like real estate, for example. So we have to see a lot of alternatives. Digitalization is not only to have a web page, it's about having all the infrastructure to make it work.
Very true.
And Matthew, how do you think how these tools can be of the digitalization can be applied to the real estate sector?
Well, first of all, Alma touched on something very important as far as having a mentorship, right? I think that when you have any kind of obstacles, which, you know, in real estate is a very tough field to be in. It's not easy, right? And especially now during this crisis, you have to adapt to the circumstances, right? So having mentors, like Alma had mentioned, is very important. For me, something that's been powerful, it's almost like a mentor, but it's first of all writing down questions, constantly writing down questions. You know, what are the experts in your field doing? What are the top people doing? This is key to overcoming any obstacle. You know, write down your goals. I'm a very big, firm believer in you have to write down your goals. So when you make these questions, it's important to look at people like in Alma and Victor's field. Well, what are all these other businesses doing? Research other businesses, the top dogs in your business, and see what they're doing. How are they being successful? Also, what other hurdles have they encountered? This is really going to help you grow, to do some research on the experts in your field and on businesses that have exponential growth. As far as moving to digital, as I discussed before, we've been, you know, utilizing Zoom, FaceTime, things of that nature to really still stay in contact with our clients for, you know, discussing selling their house, buying homes, things of that nature. And then also going and using, I don't know how many of you have, like I have, I don't have it in my room, but it's Osmo 3. I just purchased this Osmo 3. Do you know what that is? It's like the camera stick.
Ah,
So
okay.
yeah. So
Like a selfie stick.
Exactly, yeah, like a selfie stick. And so you can go into houses now that, you know, and show clients that, you know, there's some clients, even though we're kind of over the curve, which is a good thing of this virus, there's maybe some clients that still don't want to go into houses because they're a little worried. So using, you know, like the Osmo 3, or there's many different types of selfie sticks out there. You can go in and record everything and give them a very a great visual representation of the interior of the house, the exterior, so they can actually see it as if they're in person.
I think that it could be virtual reality, for example. It can
Yes.
help to show the houses and show the many sides of a house, like the pool, I don't know, the dining room. Or the
Yes,
kitchen.
absolutely.
Yeah, Almondra?
I want to say something like what said Matthew about benchmarking. I think that's really important because I actually work under a methodology of design thinking, because I am a designer, but I really believe that design thinking and the way that we process design, I mean, like we make this design process can be just applied to any science. And actually the MIT, Harvard, they are researching more about design thinking in other fields. And one of the most important parts of the design process is the benchmark, because actually that's where, I mean, no one has invented anything from nothing. So you really need a reference in order to evolve the concepts. So benchmarking is a really crucial way to make things work, right? So I think to focus on all the parts of the design process, like prototyping, for example, that's really important too. And not only in physical stuff, but when you have a service model business, or also like you provide another kind of, not like concrete things, not products, you sell services, for example, you also need to think of your service as a product in order to have it, in order to evolve it, and to have a lot of stages, design stages, for it to reach the market. So I think that's really important what Matthew said.
Yes, absolutely. And Alma and Victor, I don't know if you really utilize this too much in your field, but Alma, I'm guessing with design, branding is key, right? Is there something specific you use, or companies that you use for branding your business?
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, our brand is a commodity because the ethanol and even sheet ethanol is already produced around the world. So the brand is the quality in the service, is all the intangibles that you are related to get the product on time, to get the quality, because in Mexico we have one of the biggest quality and the top qualities around the world. Our ethanol that is produced from sugar cane. It is different from the corn that is produced in U.S. in the country. But we call this ethanol and advanced ethanol, and that is the brand. The in the commodities and the ethanol that from our corn, from our sugar cane, from sorghum, and from another related with the land, they are very special because you are helping our farmers. And our brand is related with the farmers because the farmers is the one that is producing this product to get involved in this main supply chain management, and all this branding is related because when we're selling 1 gallon or 1 liter of our ethanol, we are saying this is not for the company. The company is one of the part of this. The main benefits are going to our farmers. That in different cases around the world, in the farmers in Mexico, they have many problems, and we have many problems with our land, with the farm. So our brand is a social brand. It is a social branding, and we are relating that this is a part of helping these people, but it is not helping with me to get my profit. It's getting help with them because we are getting in profits to get better infrastructure for the land, better ways to produce more sugar cane. We are different from the sugar industry because we don't produce any grain, not any grain from sugar. Everything of us is ethanol. So this ethanol, that is anhydrous ethanol, it is not desnaturalized like in US. It is more pure. Actually, we have an uptake with the California because in California that has a very strict air pollution regulation. The only ethanol that is available in California is from the sugar cane. And in this part of our branding, it's also because we are not using the traditional sugar cane. We are using genetic modification organism that is producing more liquid, and this liquid is converted in more ethanol. And but the end, this branding is getting us a very good brand and social responsibility because if we have more time, I can tell you, but we are doing cogeneration of electricity, and with this electricity, we are introducing by a smart grid voice, video, and data, and the internet by light to this main sector, the farmers. So we are also getting involved to in the sector, in the health sector, to give them a clinic, a hospital, and also in a school. So our branding, the part of this all production is related not with us, but with the farmer, with the Mexican farmers. That is the main brand that we are promoting.
Thank you, Victor. Right now we have Aki online.
Aki, what's
So
up,
I
brother?
will
How you doing?
introduce him.
Hello.
Hi, Aki. How are
I'm
you?
here. I'm booked and blessed. So I wanted to talk about the entrepreneur thing. During the coronavirus, I have taken steps to increase the amount of business that I have by moving into different areas of real estate. And someone has a mic. Can you see me? Can you see?
I can see you.
Oh.
We can see you. We can hear you.
Okay.
We're glad that you're here.
Thank you. I was at an appointment. I had to rush back to get here.
No worries.
So what I did was, because I vendor for a lot of different companies in real estate. So what I did was I started increasing the amount of companies that I vend for, and also I pivoted also. So not only do I do mini appraisals, now I also do retail real estate, commercial real estate, and now I do property preservation as well. So that's what I use the quarantining time to do. I use that time to break off and do other things in real estate, not try to pivot and do things that I'm not familiar with. So what I recommend is that, you know, you take this downtime to figure out how you're going to expand. And so when things do come back, you'll be actually more busy than ever if you do it the right way. So that's what I wanted to say.
Great, thank you, Aki. Have you exchanged some ideas with Matthew?
Yes, actually, we've been talking about a lot of things. One thing we started doing was we started investing more also. So, you know, the market has been down tremendously, like 50, 60%. So, you know, I've decided that I would take a more aggressive stance as far as getting into the stock market, because I'm looking at the stock market as being bullish for the future. It might be bearish right now, but you know, as we get a vaccine, as the coronavirus becomes more under control, people are going to start traveling again. They're going to start going back to the movies. You know, one thing about Americans is this: you give them $1, they're going to spend it. They're not going to hold on to it. They're not going to try to save it or anything like that. So, you know, the country's trying to help by giving stimulus money to the citizens so they can go out and spend money. So right now, even in my city right now, the virus is actually becoming more prevalent, is kind of bouncing back. And people are still out in the street shopping. I don't even understand it. So the restaurants are packed, the mall is packed. But as far as business goes, I'm just trying to expand my business during this quarantine time. And I don't want to wait and procrastinate, because procrastination is going to leave you behind when the market does come back. So you need to jump in now while everything is looking crazy, so you can maximize your bounce back ability when the market does come back and when people do start going out. In the United States, flying is down 95%, but guess what? Every flight going to Florida is packed. So, you know, the flight attendants are complaining that there's no social distancing on the planes, that the airlines have put in wearing masks. So I recommend investing in everything that's down right now just because of the coronavirus. Don't invest in things that are like Zoom. Don't invest in Zoom, because people are going to eventually go back to work. You know, it sounds good staying at home and working from home. That sounds good, but people like being around each other. So people are going to want to go back to work. So those stocks like Zoom and Walmart and things like that ran up because of the coronavirus, when people will go back to work, they're going to go back down. So you need to be looking at stocks that went down because of coronavirus, like airlines, Disneyland, Six Flags, you know, things like that. That people are not going to the movies. Those stocks are all down. Gold's Gym. When the market opens back up, as soon as we get a vaccine, those stocks are going to run up like crazy. So that's what I recommend for everybody. You know, just stay focused on what you're doing. Don't go outside. Don't go to the mall. Don't go to the movies. Don't go to restaurants. Stay at home and focus on how you're going to make more money, because that's what this is all about. This is all about money at this point. They don't even care about who dies or anything. This is about money. So we need to realize that when the government is passing out money, you need to go ahead and take it and maximize what you're going to do with it, because these times will never happen again in our lifetime. So you need to go ahead and take advantage of it now.
Thank you, Aki. This is a pretty interesting point, this thing that you are saying. I studied system dynamics, which uses systems thinking, and this is to solve complex problems, seeing different factors and how they interrelate. And we see a lot of delays in showing results. And I think this is what you are talking about, to think a little bit in the future, to see how you're going to be better, but taking, caring about how everything is going to be in the short term, in the medium term. And it's not going to be as we're seeing it right now. We have to look into the future for the decisions we're taking.
Yes, absolutely. 2 years down, if you buy a bunch of stocks right now and it goes down in the next, until January, don't be upset. Still keep pumping it in. Keep pumping it in. It's called dollar cost averaging. Just keep buying. I call it buying on the dips. Every time it goes down, I buy more. I'm not even afraid because I missed out after 9/11 happened in 2001. American Airlines stock went down to a penny and I didn't buy any. And I'm kicking myself every day ever since that happened. And I said that would never happen to me again. So this time, this is a second opportunity that we have. We need to all take advantage of it. You know, buy everything that you love, all of the stores you like to go to, Guess, The Limited, Old Navy, everything that's closed right now. But you need to look at the balance sheet too. Just don't buy just because you buy, because not all of these companies are going to make it. So you need to diversify at the same time.
Yes, make sure to research the company first because a lot of companies are closing down. But however, like Aki said, the airlines, most of them are not going anywhere. So that's probably a fairly safe investment, if you can say, you know, a safe investment.
If there's such thing.
Yeah, if there's such a thing. Yeah, actually, so me and Aki meet once a week. We do a video call and we talk real estate during this whole crisis. And we've been talking the stock market, and, you know, like what we're seeing, what things are kind of good investments. So that's a good idea. Get around people that want to do more, that want to become more successful and expand. Start speaking to people. Communication and networking is key to becoming more successful and growing.
Yeah, and even for me, for services that I provide, I've been charging more, you know, because I work with banks. And, you know, when I do these mini appraisals for banks, sometimes they only pay like $50 per order for the mini appraisal. I got someone call me the other day. I was like, it's $90. I'm sorry. I said, it's too slow out here. It's $90. You know,
The thing is that everything is about money. Like, I didn't invent the system, and it's there, and we have to also like create this an opportunity. And I think that today we as entrepreneurs, we can have like the forevision, like the foresight of what's gonna come next, and we are in an advantage because of that way of thinking, because we're entrepreneurs. So it's a time to make just the right actions. Maybe they're not going to work, maybe yes, but the thing is not to be steady, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So
what's that? Hey, Aki, real quick, what's that saying? Do you remember? There's a saying, something like, if you don't build your own dream, you know what I'm talking about?
You're going to work for someone else's.
Exactly. Yes, that's it, Alma. Yeah.
Every one of us are entrepreneurs. Like, sometimes I work a lot with people, with women, and they tell me like, I'm a mom, like a homestay mom, and I can be entrepreneur. And I'm like, you are entrepreneur because actually the project that you have, it's like being a stay-home mom, right? So
exactly.
We shift this thing, like we cannot be entrepreneurs if we make something that does not look like entrepreneurial. But actually, if we all take an approach like to have more foresight and to be like more dynamic about what we're doing, maybe we can change a lot of things, and the dynamics itself of the economy, local economy, global economy. And I think that's really important to acknowledge.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to say to everybody, it's time for expansion. And your fears, all the fears that you have, you need to sit them behind you. Take your fears and put them back there, because now is the time. You know, this is it. If you have $10,000, $20,000 to spare, you know, you need to take it in and expand right now. This is it.
Yeah. Actually, you have to be very reinvent yourself, reinvent your company, and be disruptive. In our case, we believe that as entrepreneur, you have to make compromises. One is with your company, and the other is with the society. And mainly with the society that right now needs support from us. So we changed the ethanol, the anhydrous ethanol production to produce ethylic ethanol, to getting help for the help production, to getting help for sanitization, and also we get involved in donations. We know that if the customers and the society can exist, our company can be successful. So in our cases, we try to find some other companies, some other entrepreneurs, and we did some donations mainly for the medical sector, for surgical masks, ethylic ethanol, and helping the society is a good way to do things. Just thinking like the entrepreneur do more than ever, and if it's in this situation and this crisis is mainly important, not only the company, it is mainly important all the people that is around the company, our families, our employees' families, and the families of the society, because we are related and become entrepreneurs thanks to this society.
Sure, and then you
Yes,
can
you're
give
right.
back. Like that's
Thank
right.
you.
So thinking of everything's money because we're in this system, but we need to acknowledge that every single piece of our company, it's important to make that profit and make our lives better, which is
Right.
that's the goal, I think.
Guys, go back to the main room. So
Yeah, creo que va.
we finish our mini rooms part of this event. And now we're just going to close with some of the experiences that the participants had and that the speakers had. And we're also going to, well, each of the speaker will be able to tell us about their businesses. And I think Victor has a presentation he was telling us before. And we're going to have a survey at the end. We're live again, Facebook, so give me a second. So, okay, we're done. So, first, speakers, tell us your experience, please. How was it, Aki?
It was interesting. It was good. Lots of questions. Beatrix wanted to know a lot about the owning real estate, so I let her know that. And Carlos deferred a little bit, so I had to steer him back onto his track. He jumped the tracks, so I wanted him to get back on tracks. He wanted to be on for his life, so that was good. So yeah, it was good.
Perfect, thanks. Victor, how was it?
Very amazing. I believe we have a lot of feedback, and to be in contact with many persons around the world and with many entrepreneurs, we can learn not only about the real estate, not only about the technology and digitalization, but all the situation that the people are doing questions about what is going to be the future and how is going to be the new technology get involved and what is going to happen. Mainly, I believe that everything that the Akin, Alma, Matthew has and all the participants has give us today is very important to get more information
Hello.
and be very proactive to get information that we have to follow to get our business going, still going on and running, and also to get involved with the society to do many things for them. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. And now, Alma, how was it? You're on mute.
Really, there you go. It was really great. We at the mini room we talked about how creativity can boost any new thing that you want to make, any project. Like we said that not only artists are creative. Like creativity is not about putting some little nice colors in everything. Creativity is more about solving problems in a different way. So this skill is really, really important. And now in any point in life, and we should really, really focus on learning new strategies and new design skills in order to do this, to solve the problems, but in a very different way. So we can make them more efficient and we can make them, I mean, like really fast solving. And we talked about that. And I really like all this session because there were many questions and we can all like, you know, share our points of view from different industries. And I like that really much. Thanks.
Thanks, Alma. And then we have Matthew. You're on mute, Matthew. Give me a second.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm off mute, I think, right?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. Really enjoyed this. And then the group was fantastic. We were talking about, you know, networking and how to, the importance of communication with other people. And more so, we're talking about languages and how languages come into play, obviously, with this group. It's important, and how that really feeds into entrepreneurship. And so, you know, they had asked me how I got started in real estate. And I said, you know, it's the same thing as languages. It started with passion. And I think that when you start, you have to be passionate if you want to be successful in what you're going to do. My advice is that whatever business you're going to open, be passionate about it first and you'll be successful. With learning languages, I initially started with a passion of it and I didn't expect to use it in real estate. And then like a year and a half ago, all of a sudden I have lots of clients from Mexico. It's an amazing thing. So my passion turned into something to really improve my business. So I think that if you bring passion into what you want to do, you can really grow from there. One question that came up right up at the end that was an important question that we didn't really have time to dive into too much was, do you need a lot of capital, for example, to go into real estate? And this is probably a good question for any kind of entrepreneurship. I suggested that, and I always tell people this when they ask for real estate, I do suggest if you can, it's a good idea to have at least 6 months saved up of your bills and have, you know, 6 months worth of, you know, money in the bank. This way you can prepare. Aki agrees, right? You can prepare for things that come your way and not get distracted and say, oh, no, now I have to quit real estate and go back and work a regular job, right? So this is important. Have money in the bank if it's possible. If not, you know, just go after it. Just make the best you can and go after it. I'm a firm believer. There's a great saying that chance favors the prepared mind. So, you know, you're going to have a better chance at being successful if you're prepared. There's no perfect. It's like Casa de Papel, like I said, right? The chaos theory, right? You can prepare, you can have a plan, and of course, something might come your way, but you'll be better prepared and more likely to succeed.
I like to say that there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when preparedness meets opportunity.
Exactly.
You gotta be ready.
That's true.
Thank you, guys. That's a pretty good advice as well. So, Carlos, what's next?
We want to do you hear me?
Yes,
we want to thank every speaker for accepting this invitation. We really hope to enjoy the participation. And this is you can see this was a different dynamic and talk that people usually go. And thank you again and here is the accounts, the contact you can the accounts you can contact all our speakers: Instagram, YouTube, the page, the web page, and the LinkedIn. So if you want to give another account, Instagram or the social media you want, could you please do it?
Okay.
And what we can do is that each of the speaker can talk about their businesses, so people know what they do again. I'm Andrea. If you want, you can you tell a bit more about ethnology and self-made? Like we have your Instagram account right there.
Yes, ethnology, as I said before, it was like, it's a fashion brand that I co-founded with my sister. But now I am working on this platform. I mean, it's my platform. It's called Self-Made, and it's about helping other entrepreneurs to have more tools in order to know how to digitalize your businesses, but also what's next on the digitalization. Like right now, it's a hot topic, but it's gonna pass. Like this was like all the fuss because of the quarantine, but I am convinced that digitalization is not only to make a web page and that's it. Like what comes next, and that's the real focus of everything I'm making. All the things about brand styling and how to understand your market through visuals. That is the first input you have when you're making something digital. So if you would like advice, if you want consultant sessions, you can write me there itself, made.mx. There is the Instagram, and I'll personally answer you, and we can start the conversation.
Thank you, Alma. Matthew.
You.
Yes. Am I on
You
mute
dream
still
to be
or
a
there?
polyglot.
Yes. So yes, you can actually follow me there on Dream to be a Polyglot on the YouTube channel. Also, that's an Instagram channel. And then also we have a real estate website. It's just my last name. It's www.maldenrealestate.com. And so you can go there and see what we've done. Everything we do as far as how our marketing looks, which is important. Like something we discussed is studying how other people do marketing and how they carry their business. You'll also get to see my favorite part is the homes that we've sold. And so you'll get to check that out. It's very exciting. One thing we say in America is that, the American dream is for someone to own a home, right? So we really, really enjoy what we do, helping people find homes, sell homes. It's a beautiful thing. And so I hope that what all of us have offered here today is very helpful to all of you guys.
Thank you, Matthew.
Yes, you're welcome.
Me? Is it my time?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. My presence, I do have akileach.com where you can go and see houses and everything that I have. I'm more focused on, most of my business now is business to business. So, I don't really have a huge presence, on online for consumers, because most of my business now is business to business. So there's no need for me to advertise that. But I still have a healthy retail real estate business too. You can just go to akileach.com. I don't even know if it still works. Let me check.
We also could find you on LinkedIn.
Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I have a very robust Facebook page. So if you come on there, you're going to see some stuff about real estate. You'll find some jokes. I'll talk about the president.
President.
Yeah, if you're easily offended, don't go to my Facebook page because there's a lot of conversation going on there. So yeah, you can contact me. My phone number is listed. If you just Google my name, you can find me on Google.
Perfect, thanks. And now, Victor.
Thank you very much.
Yes, to get the survey we were talking about. This will help us improve. Okay, so 8 out of 14 people have already voted. 9 out of 14 people. We're missing.
Hey, Aki, listen to this real quick. And this is a great thing about, so real estate, real quick. So my wife just walked in and said, hey, guess what? How long do you have left of your deal going on? I said, oh, probably like 10 minutes. Why, what's going on? She said, we just picked up $1 million buyer. Right.
Whoa.
So what? That's a great thing. When you go in business for yourself, there's a lot of opportunity. So it's pretty cool. Obviously
Thanks for
excited.
sharing that, Matthew.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, so we're over. We have come to the end of the event. As I mentioned in the chat, you have the link for the special offer. What you like more, you're telling us, is the diversity of the industries. And you also like meeting new people. That's great. So I want to thank everybody for joining, and I want to thank again the speakers. I was impressed with what you are all doing, and it's pretty inspiring. It was pretty inspiring today's session.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.